Hello friends, I extend my warm welcome to all of you. In this, we are in process of developing video lectures on subject operation research. This is very important subject, and in this subject, in this series of video lectures, we will have knowledge sharing about operation research, linear programming problem, formulation, graphical method, simplex method, non-linear programming problem, assignment problem, transportation problem, and many more relevant areas of the operation research. In this series, in this video, we will have introduction about the operation research, and this we will discuss what is the OR or operation research or operational research, historical development of OR, relevant definitions given by the prominent authors to the operation research, nature of OR and its characteristics, scope of operation research, and methodology how to use the operation research technique. Then we will discuss the deterministic and stochastic models used in the operation research, relevant recent OR techniques, advantage of operation research, limitation of operation research, and we will also have brief introduction about the national and international OR societies and their relevant publications in terms of journals. So first off, we start. What is the OR? OR or operation research, sometimes we call it operational research, and sometimes we call it as operations research, can be considered as being the application of scientific method by interdisciplinary team approach to solve problem involving the man machine organized system so as to provide the optimal solution of the problem. So OR is a scientific method which are used to the main machine system so that we can find the optimal solution or the best solution of the problem. Operational research is the scientific study of operation for the purpose of making better decisions. Operation research is used to find the better decisions. In simple terms, it is defined as science of better. Sometimes we can say in our daily life we use the OR techniques to make our decision better. So in simple terms we can say it is a science of better. So our modern synonyms for operational research are management science and decision science, because the OR techniques are being used in the many areas of management, so it is also called as management science or decision science. It is often considered to be a subfield of mathematics because OR techniques are based on mathematical modeling, and there is a use of mathematical modeling and mathematical calculations is involved. So it is often considered as a subfield of mathematics. But I want to share that it is an interdisciplinary team approach, and where in this subject we don't use only the mathematics, we also use the engineering theories and concept to find the optimal decision of the problem. Now we come to the historical development of OR. So as a formal history of operation research, this subject existed as a science since 1930, but relevant literature is not available. And the formal discipline operation research originated during the Second World War by the effort of military planners during Second World War. As we know that in Second World War we have two teams. One was the Allied teams, which has limited resources, and the other team has a large resources. what the allied teams do, they use the operation research techniques to minimize their cost and resources and to maximize their output. So they use the OR techniques. And in the decades after World War II, the technique begins to be applied more widely in the problem of business, industries and societies. So from the World War II, this subject has been introduced. Formally, this subject is introduced as a operation research, because this subject was originated during the war times. That is the reason it is called as a operational research. Since the time, operation research has expanded into the field widely used in industries ranging from petrochemicals to airlines, finance, logistics and government. Now you can see in each and every industries they are using the operation research techniques. For examples, in airlines they use the transportation and assignment techniques so that they find the optimal decisions, optimal solution of their problems. Even each and every industries, whether it is manufacturing industry or production industry, they use the operation research techniques. Also, now it has become an area of active academic and industrial research. More and more people are working on these areas because this is close to the problem, this is relevant and application oriented subject. So many academic and industry people are working on this area and they are developing the new OR techniques. So this is the brief about the historical development of OR. Now we come to the OR in industry. As we know that this subject originated from the Second World War. After Second World War, success attract industrial managers to solve their complex managerial problems. And in 1950, we can see OR began to develop in industry field in US. So the industry field in US, they used the OR techniques which were invented during the Second World War to solve their industrial problems. Then after, in 1953, Operation Research Society of America was formed, and the aim of formulation of this society was to develop this subject and to apply the new techniques into their relevant problem areas. In 1957, International Federation of Operational Research Societies established to facilitate the OR societies worldwide. Operations research is termed as Canada, South Africa and Australia, whereas it is termed as operational research in Europe. In our country, in India, we also use the operational research, and Operational Research Society of India was established in 1957 in our India also. So we can say it is a interdisciplinary branch of applied mathematics and formal sciences that uses the method such as mathematical modeling, statistics and algorithm to arrive at an optimal or near optimal solution to the complex problem. So we cannot say that it is only a part of mathematics or some engineering. It is an interdisciplinary team approach which uses the mathematics as well as the formal sciences. Now we come to have a definition given by the prominent authors and the researchers who have worked in these areas. So first definition is given by the T.L. Satie, that the OR is the art of giving bad answers to the problem to which otherwise worse answers exist. This definition was given by T.L. Satie because when we come to the minimization problem, we use the bad answers. We use the bad answer as a optimal answer, otherwise we will have a worse answers. In a similar way, we can also give the definition that OR is the art of giving the better answers to the problem which otherwise we have good answers. Then Arthur Clarke gives OR is the art of winning wars without actually fighting them, because this subject was originated during Second World War, and we can see the Allied teams, which has very limited resources, won the war due to using this OR techniques. So Arthur Clarke give definition that OR is the art of winning wars without actually fighting them. Then after H.M. Wagner give the OR is the scientific approach to the problem solving for executive management. H.A. Taha is a prominent author of the operation research books, gives that OR is a scientific knowledge through interdisciplinary team efforts for the purpose of determining the best utilization of limited resources. Then D.M. Miller and M.K. Straw give the definition that OR may be described as a scientific approach to decision making that involves the operation of organizational system. When we have man-machine system, organized system, then we use the OR technique, which are based on scientific methods, and we find the better decisions. In 2003, WHO gave the definition of OR in their own perspectives, and the definition is the use of systematic research technique for program decision making to achieve a specific outcome. This definition was given by WHO in 2003. Now we come to the nature of OR and what are the characteristics. So first important characteristic of OR is the interdisciplinary team approach. In this subject, we use the mathematical part, statistics, and some physics and engineering concepts to find the optimal solution of the problem. So it is an interdisciplinary team approach. Systematic approach, and this OR techniques are based on the problem, in which we first identify the problem, then find the decision variables, then formulate the mathematical model, and then we solve the model, and then we implement the solution. If solution is not up to the mark, we modify our model, and then we find the solution, and then reapply the solution into the problem. So it is a systematic approach. Helpful in improving the quality of solution. Naturally, when we apply the OR techniques, the solution is the better solution, and it also helpful in improving the quality of the solution. Scientific method. It is a scientific method because all the techniques which are from mathematics or physics or engineering, these techniques are being used as an interdisciplinary approach, and so it is a scientific method. Goal-oriented optimal solution. The OR techniques are based on the problem, and what is the problem? According to the problem, we need to formulate the mathematical model, and then we find the solution of that mathematical model. So it is a goal-oriented optimal solution method. Use of models. We in this techniques, in this subject, we use the models like mathematical models, sometimes we use the statistical models, we use the evolutionary techniques. So this OR subject is based on the models, use of models. Reduce complexity by the use of computers and softwares. Nowadays, people are using the softwares, mathematical softwares like Lingo, Statistica, and soft computing softwares, then Mathematica, and this use of these softwares reduce the complexity and calculation in the process of making decisions using OR techniques. Now we come to the scope of operation research, and in this we can see the operation research is being used in each and every part of our daily life, starting from the finance, budgeting and investment to the personal management. So in finance, budgeting and investment, we can see nowadays mutual funds and share markets, they use the OR techniques. How much amount of particular fund, how much amount of money is to be used in particular fund, and when it is to be drawn from that fund and transferred to another fund. It is all based on the OR techniques. So the person who is dealing with the finance, they use the OR techniques, and purchasing and procurement and exploration. And in this we use the inventory models. Now we see in supermarket, when we go to the supermarket, we see there is a no shortage. Every time the item is available, because it is based on the inventory model. When the item is shortage up to the limit, automatically the order is placed. So all these techniques are based on the inventory models, and they are using the softwares, so there is no need to calculation. When the inventory is short, automatically the notification is come to the manager and order is placed to the concerned party, so that there is no shortage in the inventory. So even purchasing, procurement and exploration, all are based on the OR techniques. Production management. In production management, when we see how much of types of particular product are to be produced, it is all based on the OR techniques. What type of product, how much it is to be produced, it is based on the OR techniques. Marketing management, they use the techniques assignment problem and transportation problem and traveling salesman techniques. How, what a particular manager or salesman is to be given a particular route, so that they minimize the time and also the maximum output. It is all based on the OR techniques. Then we come to the personal management. When the person is to be promoted or which assignment is to be given, it is all based on the assignment technique, that is the part of OR techniques. So this scope is limited, even many areas where the OR techniques are being used. Now we come to the methodology of OR. What is the methodology of OR? As we say, it is based on the problem. So which type of problem we are dealing, accordingly we use the methodology. But there is a certain methodology we adopt in general is formulating the problem. Once we have an idea about the problem, we need to formulate the problem in a some concrete way, in maybe in terms of mathematics. Mathematical model you can use. Then constructing the model is to be constructed with the decision variables, objective function in mathematical format or statistical format. Then the third step is the deriving the solution. Deriving a solution, in this we use the different methods. The methods is the analytic methods, which are old methods like derivation, differentiation. Heuristic methods, we use the evolutionary techniques in this also, and simulation based method. When the problem has no sufficient data or uncertainty, then we also use the simulation based method. In the next step, we test the validity of the solution. When we find the solution, we need to check whether the solution is up to the mark or not. And in the next step, implement the solution into the problem. In this, we find whether our solution is feasible to the problem, or we can apply the solution to the problem or not. And if it is not applicable to the problem, then we modify the model, and then we repeat the same step accordingly. So this is the general methodology of OR, and it is differ from problem to problem. So we have one diagram showing the methodology of OR. In this we can see that in the first step we have problem formulation. Once we have to define what is our problem in a concrete way, then constructing a mathematical model. We need to develop this model using mathematical techniques, whether these models may be linear programming model or non-linear or in dynamic programming models, and then deriving the solution from the model using the analytic method or heuristic method or simulation based method. We find the solution of this models, and then testing the model whether our model is relevant to the problem or our solution is up to the mark, we test this in this step. And then if our model is not up to the mark or model is not feasible, then we also identify the control our solution. What are the variables which control our solution as well as our model, and implementation of the solution. In next step, we implement the solution into the problem, whether our solution is feasible or may be applicable to the problem or not. And then if there is a, if it is, our solution is not applicable to the problem, then we go to the constructing a mathematical model. We change the mathematical models and then we repeat the same sequence of the steps. Now we have OR, operation research models classification. In general, we have two types of models, and based on the certainty, we have two types of models. One is the deterministic models and another is the probabilistic models. So deterministic model, if we have all the data in the certain form and all the data with the certain values, then we use the deterministic models. And when we have data in uncertain or in some probabilistic format, then we use the probabilistic model. So deterministic model, if all the parameters of the decision variables, constants and their functional relationship are known with certainty, then the model is said to be deterministic model. For example, games with saddle point, linear programming, non-linear programming, etc. Probabilistic model, this is the model in which at least one of the decision variable or parameter is random in nature, or on some probability is involved or probability distribution function is involved. Then this type of model is called the probabilistic or stochastic model. For example, queuing models, games without saddle point, probabilistic models, probabilistic programming, probabilistic inventory models, etc. Now we have some example of models which are used in OR, that is the allocations model, inventory models, replacement models, sequencing models, game theory models, waiting line or queuing models, network models, per time CPM, and simulation based models. Now we have a brief about the mathematical programming models. As we know that linear programming is the simple mathematical programming problem. Then we have a non-linear programming problem, dynamic programming problem, multi-objective programming model, where we deal with the solving the optimum solution or near optimal solution to the several objective functions when we have more than one objective functions. Goal programming problem, sequencing theory, assignment models, transportation model, bi-level programming problem, when we have a hierarchy of problem in which one is the leader's problem and another is the follower's problem, then that type of problem is called the bi-level programming problem. Integer programming model, where all the decision variable are restricted to be integer, then we use the integer programming model. Quadratic programming problem, in which the objective function is in particular quadratic form. Parametric programming models. So these are some of the mathematical programming problems. Recently, the optimization techniques are being used as evolutionary techniques. So we have brief about the recently available optimization techniques. So we have genetic algorithm which is being used, and it has started from 1975. Then in 1976, artificial immune system technique was used, and it is based on the problem. When we have a new problem, we need to use the new optimization techniques. So in 1980, we used the geometric programming, and in 1983, we have simulated annealing techniques. And 1992 we used the ant colony optimization techniques. In 1995 we used the taboo search method. In 1995 we used the scatter search method. These are all search methods where we find the optimal, global optimal solution or local optimal solution of the problem. And differential evolution techniques are also being used started from 1995. Then we use the particle swarm optimization techniques. It is also started in 1995. It is a very important technique which are nowadays actively used by the researcher to find the global or local optimal solution of their problem. Memetic algorithm, it started in 1999. Self-organizing migrating algorithm, it started in 2000. Artificial bee colony technique, it is started in 2005. Biogeographic based optimization technique, it started 2007. Bacterial foraging optimization, it started 2007. Cuckoo search method in 2009. Gravitational search algorithm 2009, and Krilled Herald algorithm started in 2013. So even many more new techniques are being developed, and researchers are working on the techniques according to their problem. So once the previous technique is failed, they modify the techniques and develop a new technique according to their problem. So people are working on these optimization techniques. So these are the brief about the recently available optimization techniques. Operation research or optimization techniques. Optimization techniques is a part of operation research in which we use the techniques which are being used in the engineering problems or some mathematical problems. Now we come to the significance and advantage of operation research. What are the significance? As we know that it gives the better solutions. So these are the significance of operation research. It provides a tools for scientific analysis. When we have a complex problem, then we can use the OR techniques for the scientific analysis. Using that analysis, we can have observations, what is the optimal solution and what the changes may be there. Provide a solution for various business problems, because OR techniques are the application oriented and it is based on the problem, real world problem. So it provides a better solution to various business related problems, and it is widely used in the management sciences. Enables proper deployment of resources. As we know, when we have limited resources, we can use the OR techniques to obtain a maximum output. So it enables a proper deployment of the limited resources. Helps in minimizing the waiting and servicing time. When we use the OR techniques, we minimize the waiting times or servicing time. When we use the queuing theory techniques, we reduce the waiting times. Enable the management to decide when to buy and how much to buy. And this OR techniques used in the production department, and the manager knows when to buy and how much quantity of particular product is to be produced. Assist in choosing an optimal strategy. When we use the assignment problem or transportation problem, then we find what is the best optimal strategy for the managers. Renders great help in optimum resource allocations. So it is used in resource allocations also. Facilitate the process of decision making. When we have a systematic approach like OR techniques, then it also facilitated to find a optimal decision for the complex problems. Management can know the reaction of integrated business approach. Using the OR technique and analysis, manager can know what are the important variables, what are the decision constants, and then he can integrate the reaction of the system. And the last, help a lot in preparation of future managers. We can use the OR techniques for our improvement of our quality of service, as well as for the preparation of future managers. Now again, when we have so many significance, obviously we have some limitations. So limitations of OR is the inherited limitation concerning the mathematical expression. As we know that in mathematical expression needs the calculation and some mathematical tools to find the solution. So sometimes the researcher feel uncomfortable with the mathematical expressions. High costs are involved in the use of OR techniques. When we have systematic approach, we need to collect the data, so it involves the cost. Or obviously the use of OR technique involves the high cost. OR does not take into consideration the intangible factors. This is when we use the OR techniques into a real world problem, it does not include the intangible factors like touch or what will be the smell. All are not considered in the mathematical model formulations. OR is only a tool of analysis, not the complete decision making process. We see the OR techniques will only give the solution. Now the implementation of the solution is all up to the managers, all up to the worker which are using these techniques. So depend upon the model formulation and solution methodology. Other limitations, we can have complexity of the problem, model and solution procedure. When we have a complex problem, obviously we have a complex mathematical model, and again the solution of that complex mathematical solution is again a complicated situation. Then requirement of accurate basic data. We need the accurate basic data. If the data is incorrect, obviously our mathematical modeling or solution is incorrect, and it will give the false results or negative results. So changes in data make model formulation a costly affair. If we change the data, it becomes a costly. Magnitude of computational. Some OR techniques or OR problems has a magnitude of computational, but nowadays the people are using the softwares, so that type of computational complexity is being reduced by the use of softwares and computers. Lack of consideration of intangible factors, because we have already know that it does not include the consideration of intangible factors. And reliability of prepared solution and implementation of solution is sometimes infeasible. When we develop a model and we find the solution, its implementation is infeasible. So it creates a hurdle. Then we need to modify the model. So this is also the limitation of OR, operation research techniques. Now we have brief overview about the societies and journals of operation research. So first we come to the IFORS, International Federation of Operation Research Society. So IFORS is an umbrella organization for operation research societies worldwide, and it represents 50 national societies, including those in US, UK, France, Germany, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Philippines, India, Japan and South Africa. So it is a big umbrella, and it facilitates the worldwide OR societies and promoting the research and academics in the OR subjects. And in 1957, in our India, Operational Research Society was founded. And the society is affiliated to the IFORS. IFORS is the International Federation of Operation Research Societies, and its headquarters of ORC is located in Kolkata at 39 Mahanirman Road, Kolkata. And the society publishes a quarterly journal of search with Springer Publishing House. It is a SCI expanded journal. It is a very good journal, and it is abstract and indexed in almost all database, good database. Now we have INFORS, Institute for Operation Research and Management Science, and it is a US based organization, and INFORS start an initiative to market the operation research profession better, and its website is the Science of Better. So it is a US based organization, and this initiative has been adopted by Operation Research Society in UK. So its website is Learn About OR. So this is again a big umbrella and US based organization, to promote the operation research and its research. Informs also published very good journals, 12 scholarly journals about operation research, which include the decision analysis, information system research, Informs Journal on Computing, Interfaces, then Management Science. All are very good journals, all are abstract and indexed are in good database, and most of the journals are SCI indexed journals. So in this lecture we have discussion about the operation research subject, methodology, and some examples of mathematical programming problems, and we have brief introduction about the societies and the related journals related to the subject. And in next lecture we will discuss the linear programming problem, mathematical formulation of linear programming problems. So thank you very much.